After taking a bit of a hit on its app-only choice, Myntra is upping its game by making the platform more personalized and interactive between brands and consumers.
We've done a fair amount of deep consumer research, and what I'm finding is there are several segments of consumers that don't want a huge width. They want to actually be shown a set of things that they want to buy. It makes their shopping experience better. But it's a choice that we're offering consumers. They don't have to all do it. Whoever wants to do it can do it. I believe that this app and this experience will actually significantly enhance our downloads.
Pasos raised 200 crores in funding led by Russian Runeft at a time when food tech startups are scaling down. Currently present in 15 cities, the funding will help further expansion and also be used to develop new services on its mobile app. Pasos is targeting 1 million orders a month over the next 6 months. Another food tech startup raising capital this week is Umist. Co-founded by Zomato's ex-chief CMO, it has raised $2 million led by Ronnie Screwvala's Unilaser. Umist works on a full-stack model like Pasos, both preparing and delivering the food. It caters in the thali or dabba business. And this week on e-Ink, CashKaro, India's largest cashback and coupon site, recently raised $3.8 million in Series A from Kalari Capital. Founded in 2013 by husband and wife team Swati and Bhargava, CashKaro works with more than 1,000 e-commerce sites and makes money through their affiliate programs. We get chatting to Swati on how she plans to take the business to new heights. Swati, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Great to have a successful woman entrepreneur on e-Ink today. Just to start off with, tell us all about CashKaro, the concept, what exactly it's all about.
Yeah, sure. It's one of my favorite topics to talk about. So
I'm sure.
That's easy. So CashKaro.com, we are India's largest cashback and coupons website. What that means is that whenever you shop online at 1,000 websites like Amazon, Snapdeal, Jabong, Paytm, ShopClues, eBay, Yatra, Make My Trip, you name it, and we work with that website. And you get extra cash back from us on every order that you place via us. All you need to do is come to CashKaro and visit, for example, Amazon via CashKaro. Let's say if you buy shoes for 1,000 rupees, you now get 10% cash back from us, which will come in your CashKaro account and it can be paid to your bank account.
Nice.
So you get it back as real cash.
Okay, so that's fantastic. But how does it work? I mean, do you tie up with some of these portals and get access to some of these deals? But on your end, how do you actually make money out of this?
Yeah, so our relationship with all the partner retailers is that we get paid commission for every sale that we drive to them.
Okay.
So let's say if you go to Amazon or ShopClues via CashKaro, we will get paid commission for that sale and we are sharing that back with you as cash back.
Okay.
So we're making a little bit on every transaction and the large portion is what we are giving back.
Fantastic. So in terms of revenue opportunity here, this is going to be a volumes business, isn't it? So it's of course in your interest to tie up with as many portals as possible. So give us a sense of, the number of sites you're associated with, the kind of traction you saw, perhaps for instance this festive season, how things were looking.
Things are looking good, and I think why they are looking good is because India as a country loves savings.
Yeah.
And cashback is like the very tasty cherry on top, in addition to the coupons and discounts which are going on in the market as well. So you get paid cashback on top of that. So we work with about 1,000 websites across categories. Most of our partnerships now are actually reverse inquiries where people set up sites and then they approach us saying we love what you do for the other brands, how can we work together?
Right.
So we work, then we set up a relationship with them. So far we've actually driven about 550 crores of sales through CashKaro.
Okay.
Now of course the numbers are increasing month on month, so on a monthly basis now we are doing around 80 to 100 crores in GMV through CashKaro.
Okay.
And it's growing about 25-30% every month.
Nice.
So it's probably one of the most exciting stages we've been at.
So how did you come up on this idea? Did you actually take to it because you saw it successfully being implemented overseas and you thought it would be great to bring it to India, or did you adapt it to the Indian market? How did you actually decide to follow this model?
Actually, the business is run by me and my husband Rohan. We are both co-founders, and Rohan is a very entrepreneurial person. He's always wanted to be an entrepreneur. So when we were in London, I was working at Goldman Sachs.
Yeah.
He was working in the financial industry as well. We came across the cashback concept in the UK. We booked our honeymoon actually to Maldives through quidco.com, which
Right.
we loved, which is the
Right.
largest cashback site in the UK. And we thought, this is brilliant. Why you're getting money back for everything you do,
Right.
and it's free money, it's real cash, it's amazing. We've got to do something in this space. So we fell in love with cashback as an idea, and we started setting up cashback sites in the UK for large newspapers. We did that for the Metro newspaper, the Daily Mail, and that's the time when Indian e-commerce was growing. It was starting to grow. Our team was always in India, and we all used to say that, you know, you've got to do cashback in India. And in 2013, we thought that the market was right for it. So we expanded here. We launched CashKaro. It's been about 2.5 years, and we're the largest cashback site. So when we look back, we are so happy about the decision to actually come here.
What's the kind of range that we're looking at in terms of cashback? How does it work? What's the incentive for a customer?
Yeah, so the cashback range varies depending on product categories. If you look at something like mobile recharge, you can get 2-3% cashback on every mobile recharge that you do on Paytm, for example, on Airtel. And even if you're paying your electricity bill, your mobile bill, postpaid, prepaid, everything, you get recharge on everything. But of course, the margins are, tight. So of course, the cashback that you get on this category is going to be a bit small. On the other side, and we have fashion sites, for example, American Swan. I mean, we were giving about 30% cashback on that. So on average, you would probably be closer to a 10% mark. But of course, the range varies from 0 to 30%. And sometimes we have higher promotions where you can get even more than that.
Right. So is sort of your consumer a repeat customer because they like to kind of keep generating those savings on every small transaction? Is that the kind of philosophy?
Yeah, so the repeat rate on CashKaro.com is pretty high. Over 70% of users who try us once come back, which is good, and they keep coming back. So on average, people do about 20 transactions a year, which again is a good amount.
And it's interesting because, I mean, the affiliated sites have nothing to lose here because they're anyway gaining traction.
Yeah.
But what's the kind of risk you see to the model if we do see a slowdown in discounts from some of these e-commerce majors? Because as you said, margins are tight.
Yeah.
So if we do start to see that slight stalling, what do you feel is a risk for you?
In fact, if that would happen, I feel like the risk to us, it gets better for us. And the reason I say it is because right now what's happening is that on many sites, you have, say, a 20% coupon already running. So the 10% cashback that you're getting from us is on top of that.
Right.
And sometimes, if you're getting 4% cashback, 5% cashback, it varies on product, but you may or may not value it because there's already an 80% sale going on the site. But when those sales go away, and when the coupons go away, your cashback is actually the only way with which you can save.
Right.
Because we are here to share the commission that we earn with you as users, and so you will always get a cut from us. So our discount won't stop, and it's going to be on top of whatever other deals are going on.
So what is the kind of traction that you bring to an affiliate site, from this particular model, an Amazon or a Snapdeal? I mean, what is the kind of benefit they get from coming to you vis-a-vis doing their own discounts?
See, what happens with the model, right? This is the model of affiliate marketing. Is that it's a very performance-based model.
Right.
So recently I was on an affiliate marketing panel with the affiliate marketing managers of Flipkart, Make My Trip, Funds and Petal, like a huge variety. And it was actually really heartening to hear that affiliate sites contribute about 15 to 20% of their sales.
Okay.
And it is the lowest acquisition cost that they get.
Right.
So what the commission they pay us is actually set by retailers, and it is something which they set based on what is it that they are paying on other channels.
Okay.
So the acquisition cost of working via affiliate sites is much lesser than what you pay to Google, for example. There you're going to pay first on a per click basis, and then you have X number of people landing on your site. Out of that, a small number will actually shop. So after people go through that funnel, the cost that you've spent to acquire that buying customer is often close to 1,000 rupees.
Okay.
What you're paying to a CashKaro as commission is much lesser than that. So we don't think that there is a risk to the affiliate model. And it is the same as what we've seen abroad as well. So people like Amazon have been doing affiliate marketing for over 20-25 years, and they haven't ever stopped.
So given what you've just described, and it seems to be a pretty sweet spot, and as you said, there are some pretty strong global models to go by in terms of success stories. What's the kind of potential you see for CashKaro here in the Indian market?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's great success that we think that can come out of India. So just touching upon the global precedents first, there's a site called ebates.com, which is the largest cashback site in the US. They were recently bought by Rakuten for $1 billion, so it's a big unicorn out there. The largest cashback site in China called fanly.com, they have about 70 million members, and they recently raised money at $1 billion valuation again. So Rakuten owns just under 10% over there. And in a lot of the Western countries, again, the cashback model is doing well. So if you look at the different markets, India is the next big market to come out where, we expect, Indian e-commerce is growing, online shopping is growing. We expect this to be a $100 billion market by 2020. So I think there is definitely potential for a unicorn in India. And I think cashback can be one of those because we are playing right into the heart of savings. We are in the right kind of geography where e-commerce is growing. So we're just going to hopefully ride the wave with e-commerce.
On that note, we take a very quick break. We're going to come back and continue to discuss CashKaro's growth story. Back in just a moment. You've also just closed a round of funding as well, so talk to us about that. Talk to us about your interaction with investors, what you feel actually, got them interested in the model, because we haven't seen too many investments in this space yet. So run us through some of that interaction as well.
Yeah, we've recently raised 25 crores from Kalari Capital. I'm really happy that it's them because I always wanted it to be them. So we were quite happy with that. I think through all the interaction that we've had, they seemed very supportive. And I think people, as entrepreneurs, sometimes we have this thing in mind about a VC and a VC equals vulture or, those kind of things which people joke about. But when I met the team at Kalari, I felt that they're going to be good partners, which is what we want. You want people who you can actually ask for help, be honest about how things are, and knowing that, they will still stand by you. I don't know, it's just, we can only judge based on our initial interactions, and those are very good. I've always been a fan of the work that Vani Kola has done, so there was a connection, I thought, so it was good.
When we looked at CashKaro in my first interaction with Swati and Rohan, you can see the energy, you can see the drive, you can see they really want to build something unique and differentiated. And you can get that feel for an entrepreneur very quickly. My first impressions about the entrepreneur stayed intact. And cashback as a concept has been around the globe and a very successful concept that's been implemented around the globe. And for India, it is new. And CashKaro happens to be a leader in that area. And we decided with great entrepreneurial team behind CashKaro, we expected this to be a great win for us going forward.
Is there any fear of failure being an entrepreneur?
That fear is there, and I think it's there every day, and I think it's there with every entrepreneur. But I think there's also a lot of excitement in being an entrepreneur. So we just try to balance it. Some of that fear encourages you to work harder. And I think it becomes, it's good and bad both when you have more people invested into your business, because you don't want to let down all the people who put their faith in your abilities. So that fear is there, but I think that fear is positive.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
So, you were working at Goldman in London, and, it's been a long journey for you as well in terms of the various, things you've done before you decided to come back here and set this up. How do you sort of, when you look back today, how do you see that? Do you miss the fact that you left the, investment banking world, or do you not because that was crazy hours? Is it crazier today? Give us some sense of how it's changed your life.
I think I don't regret that I started at Goldman. I would probably do it again. because I think what that time at Goldman gave me was really good training. In whether it could be small things like Excel to big things like actually being confident to speak with clients, to have a good foundation.
Yeah.
And I think that foundation is very important. Modeling, business, Excel, just a sense of how businesses run, how companies are run, how it should be. So that was good, and I think when we started off, the fact that I came from Goldman and before that from London School of Economics, it kind of gives you 2 stamps of credibility, which makes people take you more seriously in what you do. And I think as an entrepreneur, you do need that at the start.
Right.
I remember the first press coverage I ever got was Financial News in London, because they covered how a banker moved and became an entrepreneur. And that was just one small example of how the past helped actually propel the future.
Right.
So I would do it all over again. Are the hours crazier? Yes and no, because we have more flexibility as entrepreneurs, but we also have that much more stress. It's not a job anymore. Our business is not a job. For me and Rohan, we are very happy talking about CashKaro if we are going to a party at night, or if we are on the weekend, or if we are on a holiday. We could be sitting on the beach and talking about our next marketing strategy.
Right.
But the point is that we don't get the time to even sit on the beach now, which we could do earlier. So things are crazier, but there's also a lot of excitement.
Nice.
I think I'm not one of those people who, since I was born, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Rohan is a bit like that. I'm not. I've become like that.
Okay.
And I just love this new avatar, so to speak. So I don't
what do you
regret.
say are your strengths vis-a-vis his strengths?
Well, his strengths are many, and we both have our own. So he's a very logical, analytical person who is also very, very passionate, and I think his passion flows through the organization. It motivates us. It's an inspiration to all of us. He's always been my biggest inspiration. My strengths are more around people, relationships, clients, sales, business development. That's more me.
So where do you see the business going from here? You've now got your, funding in, you've closed that, you can concentrate on, where you want to take it, expanding new verticals. What's on the agenda?
Well, in the near term, we have various things happening. We're expanding to Singapore. We're opening up the Asian markets. We want to be the Ebates of Southeast Asia.
Okay.
That is our vision. And within India, we want to be the largest online savings destination.
Yeah.
So we've actually launched a few new features on our site related to product discovery and price comparison. So you can come to CashKaro now, compare prices, get discount coupons, and get the extra cash back from us on top.
Right.
So we've made it such that you can actually make buying decisions at CashKaro as well, in addition to getting the extra cash back. So being the online savings destination and the largest and the most favorited one in India is our vision. And I think that's where we are headed. So we've got international expansion. We've got a mobile app which is launching next quarter. There is other, tech products which we are doing to make the user experience better. So that is sort of medium term. I think in the long run, in the next 5 years, I think we should be driving between $1.5 to $2 billion of GMV through CashKaro, which is in line with what the international, large sites are doing.
Very quick break here at E-Ink. We're in conversation with Swati Bhargava of CashKaro.com. We'll be back in a moment. So in the domestic market, you said, you're already the favorite. What do you think it is that sets you apart from some of the other cashback sites?
So expansion to Southeast Asia is something that we want to do in parallel.
Right.
Because cashback is quite an open sector right now. They're not
so you want to tap into it before.
Exactly. So we'll take it there. In India, in the cashback sector, we are the largest cashback site by a mile. So I think we've got that covered. In the broader foothold, and then one can always put resources behind it to do more. But the funny thing is, the day we closed our Series A, after that, we're already being approached by investors for a Series B. So, I think we're not there yet, but I think if we decide to put the pedal on something, we would have the resources to do it.
So why be slow on the Series B? Is it because you want to kind of, reach another milestone before you tap into that? What's the logic?
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, it's a yes and no question. We're open to taking more funds because you want to have a war chest of sorts, and I think that itself becomes a competitive advantage. But at the same time, you want to make sure that there is an uplift that your investors see going from one round to another.
Right.
And I think that is justified by showing good growth.
Right.
So we've already put the foot on the accelerator.
Sources, will you be looking for further funding for that expansion as well?
The expansion we're going to start now itself. It's about, I think it's important to establish a foothold, and then one can always put resources behind it to do more. But the funny thing is, the day we closed our Series A, after that we're already being approached by investors for a Series B. So I think we're not there yet, but I think if we decide to put the pedal on something, we would have the resources to do it.
So why be slow on the Series B? Is it because you want to kind of reach another milestone before you tap into that? What's the logic?
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, it's a yes and no question. We're open to taking more funds because you want to have a war chest of sorts, and I think that itself becomes a competitive advantage. But at the same time, you want to make sure that there is an uplift that your investors see going from one round to another.
Right.
And I think that is justified by showing good growth.
Right.
So we've already put the foot on the accelerator so that we can take, make most of the opportunities that come up.
And that'll also give you a better valuation going forward.
Yes. That's kind of what I was saying, but you said it better. Yes.
All right. So just, before we wrap up, any learnings that you would like to share with our viewers, any management mantras that you're trying to put into place as you grow your company here on?
What I've learned is that appreciation gets really good results. And I think it's important to remember that we must appreciate our team, people who do big, small, medium, whatever kind of work that they do. Because in our team we have about 60 people, and I know that each of them, absolutely each of them, is incredibly important for our success. So taking care of our people, making sure that they feel taken care of is important, and appreciation goes a long way. Delegation and giving responsibility, that is something which doesn't come easy to entrepreneurs because we are used to doing it ourselves, but I think slowly we realize that if we have to grow, we have to delegate.
Right.
And be able to trust that the other person will do it fine.
Right.
It takes a little getting used to. It sounds easier than it is, but yes. And I think what I would tell entrepreneurs is that it's important to be really passionate and have full belief in your idea, because it's going to be more work than you think. And it's going to take a lot more out of you than you think. So you have to enjoy it.
Right.
Swati is different in the sense she's bright, she's energetic, she understands the importance of building a great team around her, which is something most entrepreneurs lack. They believe that they can do everything. They don't know how to delegate things, and they don't understand the value of building smarter people around them to really improve the quality of the company. Swati, showed all those qualities in many interactions I've had with her, and she's no different from any male entrepreneur. It's an added advantage that she's a female, and she gets something most of our male entrepreneurs miss.
When I was young, I always used to read these quotes about...
You're still young.
Younger. I used to read these quotes about how what you do in life is about the journey, not the destination. And I don't think I really understood it until now. Because now I feel like every day we are happy, we're excited, we're building something, it's fun. But we don't know where it's going to end up.
Right.
So I think this journey is what we have to enjoy.
Fantastic. Swati, thank you so much for joining us on
Thank you for having me.
That's all from us on the show this week. Thanks for watching.